Oh, Call of Duty. Whether you're a fan of the franchise or believe it should be thrown into a dumpster fire while the Incredible Hulk disposes of some South End Taco Bell onto it, it's undeniable that this franchise is one of the most successful ever to hit the gaming industry. In fact, it is the third most successful gaming franchise ever, making over $17 billion since its initial release in 2003. Call of Duty is also one of the most influential gaming franchises and absolutely revolutionized especially the first-person shooter genre, as well as giving inspiration to genres outside of its own. If you include spin-off games, there are 42 games in the Call of Duty franchise. That's just over the span of 17 years. With annual releases of mainstream games in the franchise, which we currently have 16 of and will have 17 later this year, it is a given that you will have lots of up and down, both in terms of game quality and player reception. And we've certainly seen that. Especially over the last few years, Call of Duty has seen lower ratings, a lower fan base, and it quickly became apparent that the series had to do something dramatic in order to gain back its reputation of being a pioneer of the first-person shooter franchise. And, to their credit, they did make some good attempts at that. What with the Call of Duty Modern Warfare remaster being a good step, kind of. It did bring in more players, but let's be fair and honest here, it's a remaster of a game we've already played, and they just added new guns and supply drops. The game looked a lot better than the original game, and it was great to be able to play it on newer consoles and bring new people in, but it wasn't what Call of Duty needed. And they released Call of Duty World War II, which, to be fair, was another good attempt at revitalizing the series. The issue was, they didn't do anything beyond bringing back boots on the ground gameplay. That's all they did. They brought it back to World War II and they put boots on the ground. So it's just a not as good version of World at War. There was no attempt at any sort of new innovation for the franchise, so ultimately World War II didn't really do much to help the series. A lot of people really enjoyed World War II, and it's fun. The game is playable, and it is entertaining, but it grows stale because there's literally nothing special about the game. And then 2019 came around, and we were told that we were getting Call of Duty Modern Warfare. What? No, not that one. There you go. With promises that the game would finally be returning to its roots in a more appealing way than World War II did, lots of fantastic gameplay trailers. It looked like this game could be the game that saved the Call of Duty franchise. And the game's now just over halfway through its life cycle, so I thought we would take a look at it to see if Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 actually did save Call of Duty, or did it just dig a deeper hole? So I'll be completely honest, I did pre-order this game, bought it launch day, and have played it a lot. I was really excited for this game, and me and all my friends went to the mall one day, went to EB Games, pre-ordered it all together. It was fantastic. And after being able to actually play the game in a really solid beta, I was super excited. And when the game finally released, I grinded the shit out of it. I played so much Modern Warfare. I was obsessed for a long time with this game. However, it has never been without its issues. From the moment the game launched, camping was a huge problem in this game, which is due to a few different things. I think the main two reasons that camping is such a problem in Modern Warfare is A, the time to kill is very short. If you step out for a second and you get caught by a few bullets, you're dead. You die very quickly, probably around the same time to kill as ghosts. And especially coming off Black Ops 4, where we had probably the longest time to kill in the whole series, people were very hesitant about moving, so camping became a problem for that reason. Another big reason is the map design. Call of Duty has had pretty basic 3-lane maps that have been pretty boring for the past few years, if we're being completely honest. And yes, for Call of Duty's entire lifetime, there have been those 3-lane maps, those very basic maps, but those maps had character. And the majority of the maps that we see now just don't really have that. So Call of Duty made an attempt to innovate with a very different, more open style of map design. And while I think that the intent was good, I don't think the execution was well done. The map design almost seems to be catered to a more campy playstyle, especially with the added leaning mechanic, which in essence turns your gun into a laser beam of pure accuracy, dropping enemies in like record-breaking times. You can certainly have some fun on these maps and in the core game modes, but you're gonna end up frustrated because more often than not, you're gonna find yourself in matches that are filled to the brim with campers, and it's just gonna serve to piss you off, which is why you have to do a little bit of searching before this game becomes amazing. Let me tell you what this game does perfectly for me. The absolute best part of this game by far, in my opinion, is realism mode, and specifically realism night maps. Oh my god. I never really got into playing hardcore, especially in a game where the time to kill is already so fast. I just felt like I would get frustrated playing hardcore. And when I saw that there was realism mode, which you have full health, regular amount of health, but there's increased headshot damage, there's actually less HUD than there is in hardcore mode. Oh my god, I wanted to try that right away, and I instantly fell in love with it. I've had the most fun with this game in that mode, and it's also far less campy. I feel like there's a lot less bullshit players in realism mode, and it serves to make the game way more fun than playing the regular core modes. My KD is significantly higher in realism than any other mode in the game, and it is really where I find this game excels and goes above and beyond. Sneaking around these dimly lit maps with no HUD to help me, my only aid being my night vision goggles, not using a regular scope but instead using a laser sight because you can't look through a regular scope while wearing night vision goggles. It's so much fun when you're sneaking around and checking all the corners and looking at your peripheral vision all the time to see if you can see enemy movement. Spotting an enemy, taking them down without seeing a hit marker or any indication that you've killed them aside from their body dropping and a little sound effect that plays. This mode makes you feel like a bona fide badass, and I absolutely love it. Another great mode in Modern Warfare is one that I didn't think I would actually like, because I don't generally enjoy more like competitive strategic modes. I always kind of went like free-for-all or team deathmatch was what I went into. And it's interesting because here my two favorite modes are realism and gunfight. Gunfight is another fantastic mode, super fun 2v2 cage matches. I believe they have 3v3s and things like that now, where everyone has the same class. It's first 6 rounds wins, and it's just these super fast-paced matches in these small maps that are built specifically for it. These maps work super well. These maps are great. And this mode is a lot of fun. This cage match gameplay is super entertaining, and I found myself playing it a lot and getting pretty good at it, actually. Now, this is where we lead into one of the biggest issues with this game, in my opinion. When Modern Warfare adds new modes or specialized versions of modes that are already in the game, you can't access the modes that were there before. Instead of adding content and you get more stuff, they remove modes to add modes. So for example, right now, I can't play 2v2 gunfight. I can only play gunfight blueprints or gunfight 3v3 with knives only. I can't access the the regular mode, which happens a lot in this game where they'll add a new fun mode or playlist, and then a week later they add something else, but then the fun mode that you really started to enjoy from last week is gone now and you can't play it. I don't know why they treat it like that. Why can't you just add content and let us access all of it instead of adding and removing stuff? It just doesn't make sense to me. It's just a weird way of hosting modes in your game, and I wish they would stop doing it this way. Now back to highlights of the game. The gunplay in Modern Warfare is probably the best in the series. It just feels great to run around and get into these encounters with enemies around the map. It feels good, it plays well. The game also looks fantastic. The graphics are amazing. Some of the cutscenes literally look like they're straight out of a movie, and that's really impressive to look at, and it really lets you get into the game, especially when you're playing night maps. The night vision goggles look incredible here. So combine those really fun modes that I talked about with fantastic gunplay, great graphics, a really solid story, the return of Spec Ops and survival mode, and it kind of sounds like Modern Warfare is the savior of Call of Duty. But I don't think that it is. The game still has a lot of issues that hold it back from being a masterpiece game, like the Battle Pass. I'm not against the idea of a Battle Pass, but when you have to get to a certain level in the Battle Pass to unlock certain guns, but then some people can just purchase the Battle Pass and skip tiers to access those guns right away, with some of those guns being incredibly powerful, by the way. I don't know how to pronounce the name of this gun, like Gear, something like that. That gun melts, and it's at like tier 15 of the Battle Pass or something like that. And given you can unlock it with challenges now, but that was only after the season that it was released in ended. But people who purchased the pass had instant access to it. So there's a bit of a balancing issue there, and it's monetized, and I'm tired of games being monetized. And thankfully there's no supply drops or loot crates or anything like that in this game, which is a good step, but I just wish we would stop monetizing games. And I don't think this is just an issue with Modern Warfare. Obviously, this is becoming more and more common. It's almost standard now to see a game with some sort of a season pass or downloadable content which you have to pay for, and I'm not inherently against this. Like, the Skyrim DLCs are fantastic and I highly recommend you buy them, but there's so many things in this game that are locked to you spending real world money, and it's just not worth it. It's silly, and every time I see microtransactions in a game, it just makes me feel dirty for supporting a company that's utilizing such a dirty business practice. I don't like it and I want it to stop. Another huge issue. The game currently takes up more than 200 gigabytes on my PlayStation. That is ridiculous. I'm currently installing a 22 gigabyte update for this game. They need to find a way to optimize the storage here. That is unacceptable. I've never in my entire life seen a game take up that much storage, and I've played lots of games with far more content than Modern Warfare has. I guess I'm kind of just spitballing issues at you now. So another big issue with this game is its matchmaking. They claim to have skill-based matchmaking, which works like shit. It's not functional, and after you hit level 40 or so, you're just gonna end up being in lobbies with a bunch of tryhards who think this game is the most important esports competition on the face of the earth, even when we're all just sitting in our bedrooms between eating snacks. It's so frustrating, and it makes the game a lot more difficult to enjoy when those are the types of players that I end up getting matched with. Now, I will say this. I do think this is the best Call of Duty in years. The last really great Call of Duty was Black Ops 2, and I've played every one of them in between that except for Infinite Warfare and Black Ops 4. So I can't speak too much to those games, but in my experience, and this seems to be the consensus with people, Modern Warfare is the best Call of Duty in a long time, and I don't think that it's exactly saved the series. Here's what I do think it has done. This game has laid a foundation for further games to improve upon. If we use this as a base and keep building from this, we are going to have another masterpiece Call of Duty. This game could have been it. It's not quite. It could have been. The game has been supported incredibly well by Infinity Ward. I really have to tip my hat to them for this, for really doing a great job at adding new maps and constantly updating the game, although the updates require you to restart your game even after you install the update, and they remove some things that I like, and it's kind of a give and take, but they really have done a great job at adding new things here. The season model is something that I'm actually enjoying a fair bit. I start to get very excited when a new season's about to begin, so we're looking forward to Season 4 right now. Can't wait. I'm excited to see what they add, and yeah, Infinity Ward's doing a great job, so, you know, props to them for that. This game, while it is better than the series has been in recent years, it is still not perfect, and it has not completely saved the Call of Duty franchise. We had so many games in a row that just were either mediocre or bad. There's a lot more than one better game that Call of Duty needs to accomplish before it can be considered a great series again. So yeah, this video has been me scatterbrained all over the place, just saying everything I think about this game. This is not a review, which is why I haven't gone in depth on every aspect of the game, but I just wanted to talk about how it's performing, how it's affected the franchise, and how I can see this helping the series going forward, which certainly has a lot more hope than it did over the last few years, which is great. I really enjoy Modern Warfare, although I don't play it as much as I used to. I think it's a very solid first-person shooter game. I'm really excited to see what Call of Duty is in 2020. I really hope that they take notes from Modern Warfare, but also from the fans and the community and their own big boy brains to make the greatest COD ever. I really think COD 2020 could be that. If they pull it off, Modern Warfare could have been the greatest COD ever. It wasn't quite there though, so I'm really hoping for some improvements come Call of Duty 2020. What do you guys think? Do you like Call of Duty? The series is love-hate. A lot of people love it, a lot of people hate it. Interestingly enough, that is the definition of love-hate. I guess that's really all I have to say for now. This video may have seemed overcritical to a lot of you, but I just wanted to point out that the game is not perfect. I wanted to focus more on the flaws so we can highlight where we can improve from, because there is a lot of good. Warzone is a great addition, by the way. Warzone's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it, and again, although I don't play it as much anymore, it's so much fun to get my friends on and play Warzone. Battle Royale games are fun. I do enjoy them every now and again. They're not my favorite genre, but I do think Warzone is a really solid one. And overall, if you buy Modern Warfare, you have a pretty good package here. So I hope that Call of Duty can get back to the greatness that it once was at, and I hope that you've all enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like it, share it around. I hope to see you all in the next video. Everyone stay safe, have a fantastic day. Peace.